sound best.
Live when the mic snap.
Justin.
In the cut, bring the fight back. Windy City talk, turn it down, that's that. Welcome to the show, it's Bulls on Tap. Bulls on Tap, pull it up, press play. Chi-Town talk, we can run it all day. From the tip-off buzz to the post-game rap. If you rock with the Bulls, you rock with Bulls on Tap.
What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome to another episode of Bulls on Tap. My name is Justin, a.k.a. J Talks Hoops. My co-host Sal couldn't be here today, but I am lucky enough to be joined by two of the best in the business, two of my go-to guys when it comes to Chicago Bulls podcasting, Big Dave and Matt Peck. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, Justin. Thanks so much for having us, man. Killer intro, by the way. That's I'm like, I wish that the AI Bull had actually finished downing the pint, but like he chucks it away after only drinking half of it. What's that about?
Yeah, you got to ask Sal about that one, man. Sal, I can't take any credit for it. Sal created it. I don't know how he got the Jordan clip to sync up and the Rose clip and the Pippen clip, but that intro gets me hyped every time, man. It's amazing what AI can do these days.
That's true.
And
That's true.
terrifying.
I'm about to say Matt hates AI and growth and things like that, but yeah, it's pretty dope what y'all doing, man. And shout out to your Outcast shirt as well, my friend.
Oh man, I love Outkast. I could do a whole podcast just talking about Outkast, their discography, how I wish Andre 3000 still loved rap music, but we're here to talk Chicago Bulls today.
He does. He's just not inspired. It's just about the inspiration of it, bro.
Right.
We can both have that podcast for 2 hours.
I was going to say, how much time you got? Dave will talk your ear off.
So we are here to talk Chicago Bulls basketball today. And the reason I'm excited to get you guys on is because when OnTap came to me and asked me, if I'd be interested in taking over as co-host of this podcast, your guys' podcast with Will was one of the ones that I kind of went on like a binge watching spree of, because I think you guys do a really great job. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that you guys are kind of the go-to for a lot of Bulls fans when it comes to content. How do you guys, do you guys ever feel pressure with your platform growing every day, or how do you guys kind of handle all of Bulls Nation watching you?
Pressure?
Yeah.
No, I don't feel any. I honestly, in my head, I don't think anybody watches anything I'm doing. Like, I think it's like maybe one or two people that look at it, and I always just feel like as long as you're being exactly who you are, then you'll be fine. So I'm more concerned with how I sleep than anything else, and I can sleep well knowing that I'm being exactly who I am. If people like it, great. If people don't like it, also great. But I'd rather you like or not like me for who I am than like or not like me for somebody I'm trying to be or pretending to be or stuff like that. So no, bro, I don't feel that pressure. Of course, I want to do great. You know what I mean? I think that comes with anything that you're doing. You want to do your best and all those things like that. But no, bro, that pressure is talking sports for me is a privilege, bro. Like I don't look at that as pressure at all. Like I'm privileged to be in the position that I am, and always eternally grateful that people want me and Matt in this position to continue to talk, about this team that we discussed, man. And so when people come up and talk to us and tell us how much they love us, like we were just out in Phoenix and I'm just sitting at a bar. One of our guys, shout out Jorge, drove in from Albuquerque to watch the Bulls, but he was like, the first thing I wanted to do was see y'all. And he wanted to come see us. And that's crazy. And then while we're there and we're just sitting there, some guy just walking by recognized who I was and stopped and freaked out and did stuff like that. So yeah, bro, like I just hope that fact that we're being genuine and being honest in our assessments and what we're saying, whether they agree with them or not, as long as it's honest and it's genuine, I sleep like a baby at night, bro. So that's kind of my whole focus of it. But yeah, pressure is definitely not something I feel about it.
Yeah, I would, for the most part, agree. And I wouldn't call it pressure, but the part of the job that can be just a little bit stressful for me sometimes. And, Dave can probably painfully attest to this. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to like the nuts and bolts that go around every show that we do. And we do 5 of them a week. So I always just like to be very prepared every time we hit go on another show. And once we hit go on that show, and I feel like I've done everything I need to do to prepare for it, then there is no pressure. There's just like the day-to-day grind. It's not a pressure, I would say. It's just a grind of like, we got to provide this product to the fans who tune into it every day. Bless their hearts. And that's what it is all about. As Dave was just, some of our latest run-ins out in the wild with Bulls fans. That's our favorite part of this gig. And even just hearing from people on social media, Twitter DMs, replies in the chat from all over the world saying in one way or another, like tuning into this podcast regularly, is a bright part of my day, or helps get me through this graveyard shift that I'm working tonight, or, whatever version of that. It is an honor and a privilege for us that we get to be people like that for Bulls fans who love this team as much as we do. I mean, it's silly to call it a job, because the pressure should be on the people running the team and failing right now, by the way. No, we're just fans who have a platform and are thankful to have that platform to talk with our other Bulls fans about what's going on today, what happened yesterday, what might happen tomorrow. And the fact that people enjoy it is a total kick in the head. It's great.
Hell yeah. That's one thing that I really like about you guys is you guys are authentic. Like, love it or hate it. Like, I don't agree with all your guys' opinions. I agree with a fair majority of them, but I mean, you're not going to bat 100. If you do, then I don't know, you should check yourself a little bit, but you guys are always authentic. And I think that's what a lot of Bulls fans appreciate. Shout out to French Bulls fan in the comments here. Good to have you on, man. I know this is a crazy time zone for you, so appreciate you being on during your graveyard shift, bro. But you guys, you've been in this industry for a while. I'm new to the podcasting game, but I've had my Twitter page for a while, and takes sometimes don't necessarily age that well. So I want to play a little game with you guys that I call worst take ever. I want to know your opinion. What's like one of the worst takes you've had? I'll start with mine. I genuinely believed that the Chicago Bulls should have drafted Dalton Knecht over Matas Buzelis. I was mad about the pick. I fell for the Kool-Aid with the Knecht tape. And I believed it up until probably January of last year when Knecht started falling off a little bit after a hot start. So that's by far my worst take. What are some of the worst takes you guys have ever had?
That I thought Patrick Williams would be something in this league. I thought Patrick Williams would be good. Like, after watching him that rookie year, oh man, I was hyped. Like, I would get into you know how, and everybody does this when they see that off-season tape and you watch that guy working and you see him getting ready. I had never really fallen into it like I did with Patrick Williams, because I really was like, oh no, bro, like he got it. Like, look at how he's handling it right here. Oh man, DeMar's here, bro. He gonna learn from DeMar. Like, he gonna get this. Like, I couldn't wait. Like, I was always very hyped about Patrick Williams, man, and wanting him to be good. And now, he's just ass now, and I have to call it for what it is. But yeah, absolutely. And I don't, and that's fine. Like, because I was erring on the side of greatness, or trying to be right about a guy who I just wanted to be really good. You know what I mean? So it's okay with me, bro. And I hope to be, right and wrong, 80 million more times. Like, actually, I hope to be more wrong than right. Like, Matt's the one who cares about being right. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, if I'm wrong about it, I'm wrong. But I was really wrong about that one, man. Like, I didn't see the downturn that this young man's career was about to have, bro. And it's just been sad to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I share that one about Pat with Dave for sure. I thought he had potential. I wasn't talking about him being a star in this league, but a useful player for sure. Mm-hmm. And boy, did that hope and belief come crashing down. I would add also, I was really high on Chris Dunn in the early days of the post Jimmy Butler era. I thought that kid was going to be a player, tenacious on the defensive end and legitimate potential on the offensive end. We knew that the shooting was a question mark. And then just like a weird fluke injury just totally derailed his early time at the Bulls. And, we just saw him in the clips a couple nights ago, and I'm happy for him that he's gotten a resurgent era of his career. But as far as a Bulls fan, what I wanted from Chris Dunn and the way I was talking about him, that at least in his Bulls career definitely fell flat. And then another one I was reminded of recently, because another team the Bulls saw on that West Coast trip, he found his way there. I was so high on Killian Hayes in that 2020 draft class.
Yeah, he sure was.
I thought Killian Hayes was going to be a stud.
I remember that.
Yeah. And And I think I just saw earlier today, maybe yesterday, the Kings picked him up on a new contract because of what he's shown them. So, like Chris Dunn, sort of underwhelming, if not bust, of a lottery pick that sort of found himself a second life here. And it's funny that he's also a member of that 2020 draft class, because now it's like the Bulls are like, we are the 2020 draft class of underwhelming talents. Why not go after Killian Hayes? Collect the whole set. Yeah, it's always funny to go back and look at some of the ones where you're like, ooh, kind of missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys on Patrick Williams. I was actually at the career game against the Timberwolves. I live in Minnesota, so anytime the Bulls are in town, I go and see it. And I came out of that game and I was like, yeah, this kid, he's going to be a superstar. And that kind of ties into my next question for you guys. So being a Bulls fan who lives in Minnesota, I get a lot of Timberwolves stuff too. My brother actually works for the organization, so I'm always, hearing from their fan base, hearing from him. Their fan base is so in sync with each other. Like they have little disagreements. Like there's a pro Rudy side, an anti Rudy side, but it's nothing compared to like the all out war that it seems like Bulls fans are on, especially on social media with each other lately. What do you think is going to take to unite Bulls fans the way that some of the other fan bases across the league are united? I get it's easier to be united when you're winning like the Timberwolves are, but yeah, I don't know if I ever seen anything like this year out of Bulls fans.
You just answered your own question, man. Winning unites fans. Yeah. And we haven't done that even so much as a first round playoff series victory in over a decade. And like, no wonder the fan base is like clawing each other's faces off. I tried to save most of the face clawing for the people who run this team badly. But when you're watching something between mid and crap, fans are passionate. So they're upset. And everybody has their own idea of a way to get out of this mire and awfulness. And man, it's a way to pass the time, I guess, is to argue and debate. Most of it, you hope is all done out of just mutual passion for the team and in good faith and doing so respectfully. Sometimes it goes to weird, crazy places beyond that. I think some of that is just the devilishness of social media and how it is like warped humans' brains and how we interact with one another when we're not face to face. So there is that element to it. But I think it's mostly just about wins, man. Minnesota, a team that has a franchise star and are, poised to make perennial deep playoff runs, conference finals appearances. You're more likely to agree on a lot of what's happening for your team when a lot of what's happening for your team are fun, successful things.
Yeah, like you got Anthony Edwards. We're on the same page. And before that, you got Karl Anthony Towns. We're on the same page. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it, and I just said this on the last show we were on, a lot of this stuff will go away when the talent gets here and the winning starts. All this, do you remember? Because I know I do. I absolutely recall when the Bulls had that first half a year where they were winning everything. I was rare to find somebody upset or speaking ill of that Chicago Bulls time because it was winning. And it was fun to sit and watch. And it was, Lonzo Ball, DeMar, Zach, like, Vooch, like everything, Caruso, like everything is clicking and looking really good. So, yeah, what are we upset about? You go into the playoffs and everybody's on the same page. You're trying to win the game, whether you believed they were going to or not. You're on the same page when you're walking into the playoffs. So, yeah, I get Minnesota, and shout out to that flex, having your brother working there for the team. Shout out to that flex right there. But that is an awesome thing to have that we have not had. It's simple. Like when you have that level of really good talent and good, like the negatives are the nitpicks. Not to say they're right or wrong, but that's what they are. They're the nitpicks of it. We're not at the nitpicking stage, because we're at the stage where we're still trying to figure out what the hell we got. You know what I mean? What do we do? How do we move forward? We don't know what to nitpick yet. So it's so much, it's really just about the stars. It's a star league, bro. You get that, everything sets and falls into place and everything will follow. And Bulls fans are starved. We are thirsty. We've been traveling in the desert forever. It's been a long time in that desert, man. And it's only natural you'll start to yell at each other. because everybody wants to tell you what way to go in the desert, how to get the hell out of it. Everybody's got a plan because nobody's seen the one that actually is supposed to work. So yeah, you start yelling at each other and you start getting upset, and that's a natural thing. But Matt's right. Like, you put the onus and the blame on the people who are the ones that are supposed to lead you out the desert, who are not at the desert. They're at the resort chilling. You know what I'm saying? Not worried about you at the desert right now. So that's who the focus should be on. If that you're talking about the anger and the vitriol and how upset, that's where it should be spewed at. Not Bulls fans who are trying to figure out how to get this team out of, where they are.
Hell yeah, 100% agree with that. So we just finished a West Coast trip, and you guys actually got to travel for that West Coast trip. Were you guys at the actual games, or were you more doing meet and greets with people?
We were just at the Phoenix leg, game one of that trip. So we just, it was basically CHGO already had a spring training trip for our baseball crews in the works, and that they sort of added us onto it almost at the last second because the Bulls happened to be starting their road trip in Phoenix and they had the space for us. So we just went to that one game in Phoenix, did like a meet and greet thing before the game at that bar that Dave was talking about. And then we did a fun, another hangout at this bar, shout out Poor Decisions. It's like a Chicago sports themed bar in Scottsdale the following Friday. And then, so Goat was there that Thursday for the Suns game. And then he carried on to games 2 and 3 of the road trip. So he was in Sacramento, and then he was in the Bay for the Warriors game on Tuesday. So he was there for 3 of those 5, but we were just there in Phoenix. And then after Bulls Suns, we just hung out and watched baseball for the weekend. A really taxing work trip.
Yeah, shout out to the Desmond. That's what we were at for
the Desmond. That's right.
Shout out to the Desmond, man. It was a fun time.
I think we all can agree that the highlight of that little West Coast swing was seeing Matas Buzelis and Luka Doncic go at it. And I know you guys have probably talked about it a million times already, but to me, I didn't hate it because it reminded me of a young Kevin Garnett versus Michael Jordan. I'm sure you guys have heard KG on the podcast telling the story where he's a rookie. He's feeling himself. The Bulls probably weren't taking that game very seriously. Probably like the Lakers weren't taking the Bulls very seriously, if we're going to be honest. Sure. And KG started chirping at MJ. And Isaiah Ryder was like, hey, dude, don't do that. And MJ, he went nuclear, and KG kind of learned a lesson. But KG went on to be one of the most tenacious, most psychopathic players in NBA history. So that was an early sign of kind of the dog in him. Do you guys think this could potentially be an early sign of the dog in Matas, or what did you take away from it?
An early sign of I already thought he had it in him when he walked into the door, which is why I fell in love with him very early and very quickly. Was he came in talking the talk, but also walking the walk. And it's a fine line between confidence and cockiness. And, the great ones know how to walk that line. Like Jordan knew how to walk that line. Luka showed you, he could walk that line. Now, some can delve more into a supervillain side of it than than a guy who will help you up after he knocks you out. But either way works. I like my superstars crazy. I like them psychopaths, okay? That's how I like it. I don't think anybody should have a problem with any of it at all. If you grew up a Bulls fan, you should have no problem with what you just saw. We had the biggest psychopath in Michael Jordan on our team. We had Derrick Rose, who was also a psychopath. You had Joakim Noah, who was a complete psychopath. All he did was talk crap and yell at people all the time. And you applauded it. You loved it. It was a great thing. So why would I give this anything different? Like, I'm glad Matas started talking to him. Yeah, take that ass whooping, bro. Like, for real. Like, get punched in the face. Go ahead. Get kicked in the stomach. Take all of that, dust yourself off, come back and try it again. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Test yourself against the great ones that are out here. So this is not your end. This is just still a part of your journey right here. That's all it is. So next time, Luka, make sure Luka knows who you are when you out there on the floor. You know what I mean? And get out there and cook that dude to your best of ability. Or get out there and watch Luka be great again, to the best of your ability. Because I like watching greatness at the end of the day. I saw a dude almost have a 51-point triple-double. My God. Yes, I want to sit and watch that all the time. And I would like that to be for guys on my team as well. So No, I love Matas's talking. It's not new. He does it to all kinds of players, and he stares them down when he's dunked on them for sure. Like, we've seen it happen. So no, I have absolutely no problem with it, and I hope it doesn't deter him from talking to other superstars in the league.
Yeah, 100%. Dave's right. You need some crazy. Our guy Joe Cowley always talks about the Bulls being a team full of choir boys and how that's not a good thing. It's a great locker room. Everybody gets along. No, you need some crazy in there. And if you ideally are talking about having that in one of your best players talent-wise, all the better. So I will be happily welcoming any and all moments of Matas goes crazy tonight. Like psycho crazy, while also hoping that he goes crazy like, career high 41 points kind of crazy. And whether it's MJ schooling and then helping a young Kobe back in the day, or as you were talking about, KG, and those moments between Matas and Luka the other night, it's amazing. I don't care that Matas got cooked by Luka a handful of times and they were talking trash. That's great. It's a learning experience. Also, I guess I saw in the Luka's post-game press conference, he kind of was like, insinuating that he couldn't quite remember Matas's name and looked at the box score. And then shout out to our girl Ramina, one of the hardiest diehards of Bulls Nation. I saw that she went and dug up that clip of that previous Bulls-Lakers game when Matas had Luka isolation on the left wing and cooked his ass and drove baseline and dunked it. And it's like, Luka remembers what Matas Buzelis' name is, without a doubt. So there's some of that. And I think Dave pointed out on our post-game show after that Bulls-Lakers game, the Lakers probably remember that they got swept by the Bulls in the regular season last year. Like, there's payback at hand, even if they're not taking the Bulls as a serious, like, playoff-bound threat, as you were saying a minute ago, Justin. I think that's fair. But, yeah, I love it if Matas is in a position right now to be the little brother who gets bullied among the league stars, because it might mean that he could be one of those stars himself someday in the not too distant future. And that's something to be encouraged about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bill Simmons always says he likes players that got a little bit of fuck you in them. And Matas Buzelis has a whole lot of fuck you in him. Like, it drove me crazy in that November stretch when we were after the hot start, we were kind of faltering. And all you heard was quotes from guys that were like, oh, these guys are my best friends. We all get along. I loved that I never heard Matas Buzelis say that. Like, it was always Kobe or Giddey or Vucevic or even Billy. So a player having that fuck you like Matas Buzelis in it, I'm going to love that. Is there anything you've noticed from this recent 10-game stretch? Because he's been on a tear in the last 10 games. Anything you've noticed that he's doing a little differently?
Go ahead, man.
Differently, I would say I think he's just doing more. I would say more so than different. What I've noticed recently is more. His usage is up considerably from like shy of 20% before the All-Star break to now above 25% after the All-Star break. To me, that's the thing I care about the most. And as if you're trying new and different things and failing at them at first, that's great too. We have seen a couple of times where he's taken a shot that wasn't either a three or at the rim, but those are still very few and far between. I think what I maybe have noticed more of is that he's, as opposed to just that one, like, put the ball high, step through move when he's trying to get his way through the lane, we've seen a bit more diversity in his handles as he's trying to make his way to the basket when he puts the ball on the floor in one-on-one situations. Sometimes he'll go behind the back. Sometimes he'll try and create some space, like going through the legs. He's had some really nice Euro steps to the basket recently. I like the evolving package of ways that he's trying to put the ball on the floor to then get to the basket. I think that there's still a lot of room for improvement and growth in that area. But at least as far as marginal early returns, like that, I'm seeing different ways in which Matas tries to get to the basket. And some of that will still depend on his improved strength, as he grows into his NBA body. And that will also open up different ways for him to get to the basket and therefore get to the free throw line as well. And like the other thing that might be a little bit different is that there's just zero hesitation, I feel now, especially on that road trip, when he does have an open look from outside. Like there used to be a little bit of hesitation. The P will pause, as Dave has put it before. Like when Matas had an open look, sometimes he would like think about it and then not shoot it. But recently it seems if he gets a good catch and shoot look behind that 3-point line, he's taking it. And I love that.
Yeah, I think what I'm watching him do is learn how to not give a damn. And what I mean about that is not thinking so much on the floor and just kind of reacting. And this has to do with what Matt just said about the mid-range shot. As you know, I've been complaining a lot about it. Him not taking those shots. I've seen him take more in these past few than I've seen him ever take. Now, still, it's not enough to my liking at all, but it's the fact that he's taking the shot. And I don't care if it, hits the side of the head of the cameraman. I just want him to take the shot if it's the right shot and take it. Just simply take it. And this is where I gave a little credit to Colin Sexton, because I remember the game where he took a terrible shot, a terrible 3-point shot, but it was the only shot to take. And he took it, and he said he took it because Colin Sexton was screaming at him, dude, take the shot. Like take it. How many players on the team have done that to Matas? Have yelled at him and tell him, dude, take the shot. Like, I don't know of any. I don't. If I'm wrong, then I'm cool with being wrong about it. I just don't know of any. That's the first time I've heard something like that. So I know what Billy wants him to do and how Billy wants him to play. And yeah, he is definitely developed in that. Like, look at it, as Matt just mentioned, look at his takes to the bucket. Like, they're looking so much better. Look at the non-hesitation on threes. He doesn't care if he goes 5 or 15. Yes, that's great. Now it has to stem to that third part of his game, which I feel is natural to him, is when he makes that move and gets inside and clears the space, take the shot. I saw him do it against the Clippers. I lost my mind. The first time we saw him do it, we were in studio. Matt will tell you this. He cleared the space, and man, when he turned around to take the shot, I was out of my seat already. And then when it went in, you would have thought he won the game. I lost it, bro. I was just so excited that he had just taken the right shot because it was there to him, and he didn't hesitate. I'm starting to see him get more comfortable with the idea of, yeah, bro, I'm just gonna do it. And that's okay. And that's where I need him to be, is right there where he's like, I'm just gonna do it. Giddey is there for sure. You watch how Giddey plays. Like, I'm sure he does some stuff that, coach doesn't like, but he continues to do it because well, this is my game. This is how it's gonna be. And I need Matas to get to that point, and that's only going to come with the repetition that he's continuing to get. And I'm just glad it's starting to get there.
Yeah, and our dear friend Undisputed, I saw in the chat. It's
not part 2.
It's not like Dave and I are asking Matas to take more mid-range shots than shots at the rim or threes. It's like what Dave was. Take the ones that are there for you, man.
Yeah, that's what I'll continue to say.
Take the ones that are within the flow and rhythm of the offense. You got a clean look. Take it. Because who on this team should be shooting basketballs more frequently than Matas Buzelis right now? Because the answer is 0 players. 0 players on this team should be shooting more basketballs per game than Matas Buzelis. So yes, some of them should be in the mid-range area of the floor, but not forced ones, just ones that make sense in the flow of that offensive possession.
Yeah. Make sure you hit the like button, Undisputed. Make sure you hit that like button, man.
Yeah, so I think we all can agree that we love seeing the freedom from Matas Buzelis. That's been, a high point the last couple of games. Another high point has been the play of Josh Giddey, which I've been a Chicago Bulls fan for 30 years now, and I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say I've never seen a player this polarizing amongst the fan base. Like, you got people on one end, the people we affectionately call the Giddeyits, who think he's the second coming of Magic Johnson, and then you got people on the other end that think all he does is empty stat calories and you can't win with him. The truth probably falls somewhere in the middle, if we're being honest. What are you guys seeing from Giddey lately? Are you seeing anything these last couple of games that's changing your mind on how you felt about Josh Giddey?
First of all, I prefer the Giddey committee. It's just nicer. Look, I was impressed by a lot of things I saw from him on that West Coast trip. In particular, one of my biggest skepticisms with him was being a legitimate threat behind the arc, whether creating his own shot in that space on the floor or being a catch and shoot threat if, God forbid, you're trying to play Josh Giddey off the ball. because we saw what happened in OKC when you try and play Josh Giddey, or at least that version of Josh Giddey, off the ball. A useless player that the other team didn't even bother to guard. That's what happened. That's not a hate on Josh Giddey. That's just observing what happened. I will give the man credit. He's shooting a career best 38.5%, I think, from three right now on a career high volume of attempts. That's commendable. Also on this trip, more so than any time in the past, we saw multiple occasions where he would take threes off the dribble. Mm-hmm. Whether it was a pull-up or he was going around a screen or whatever else, not just catch and shoot, Josh, but create a good look at a three for myself off the dribble, take it and make it. That's new. That's different. And that's encouraging even for us Josh Giddey skeptics, as that being one of the biggest flaws of his game, or at least things that would limit potentially the ceiling of how effective and dangerous of a player he could be offensively, and therefore how big of a component he could be on a legitimately good contending team. So absolutely that's encouraging. I hope we see more of it.
Yeah, I've talked about this on the show, and I talked about this just on the show we did with Mike and Gilsey. I've really been impressed these past few games with his facilitation. That has really stood out to me. Controlling the game that kind of way, getting guys open. Matt was talking about it very early when he had those 17 assists, and Matt kept talking about, like, dude, he's hitting dudes right in the pocket. You know what I mean? Like the passes he were throwing were perfect passes to where you just catch it and you shoot it. Like, that's what you want from your point guard, is not, to remove that thinking of what do I do with this ball that you've passed to me? No, you've passed it to me in such a way that I know exactly what to do with it now. Like, you either pass it like where I'm going to shoot that, or you either pass it where I'm about to dunk that, or you either pass it to where, I'm supposed to make the extra pass. Like, you could feel it in the energy of the ball and how you get it and where you get it. Trust me. But watching what he's been doing these past few games has just really impressed me as far as his facilitation, because I'm watching him take over the game, not only just with the, like Matt said, with the three-point shooting, but just with the passing, man, and getting guys open and guys going, man, that play he had, it was a play he did to Dillingham that I really like, where he's bringing the ball up and you're watching him looking at Dillingham, telling him, dude, keep going. Like, you watching, like, he's like, dude, keep going. And he did that, and Giddey hit him right in the perfect hands with the ball, which allowed him to use his speed to finish getting to the rim and scoring. I love that. I love that kind of stuff right there. So that's the thing for me that I like. And for me, that means you're growing as a leader. That means you're getting comfortable with telling guys whether they're right or wrong, even though your game is still flawed. We know not Josh Giddey is not perfect yet. There's a bunch of things that, he still needs to work on. And you can even argue if this is happening just because it's March, because we've seen him do this in March. You can argue all that stuff for sure. But what I'm looking at him do, though, as far as the facilitation, even though the turnovers are still at 5, he'll get you 5, turnovers like that. But when you're getting me 13 assists and 17 assists, I'm not going to complain about that. Even the last game he had with the 10 assists and 2 turnovers, I was impressed with that. So it's that part of his game that's growing that has really just impressed me in the past few.
I mean, Dave might not complain about him, but I will. Do you know how much more I would be buying Josh Giddey stock if that dude didn't commit at least 3 dumb turnovers a game? Like, just don't. Just how about don't do that? And I think so many more people would believe in his potential to be a true offensive weapon. But not for every great pass he makes, for every 2 or maybe 3 great passes he makes that set up a teammate, there's just one completely unforced error turnover where it's like he leaves his feet or he picks up his dribble and gets trapped and has nowhere to go and doesn't know what to do, and it's a turnover. And it's like, I just get so sick of watching those. If you take those out of his game, he's all that more useful of a player.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that. And that's why I said, like, yeah, he's got a ton of stuff to work on. He's not a finished product. Like, it's a ton to work on for Josh Giddey. And it's annoying turnovers, as Matt is saying. It is really annoying dribbling in the double team, turning around, trying to pass out of it. He still can't get by somebody on the defense. Like, you put a good defender on Josh Giddey, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like we watched it against the Miami Heat. It didn't matter the size, you know what I'm saying, of the player. You put that dude on Josh Giddey, it was over because his handles ain't like that, and he can't get around certain guys. That's why he has to put his head down and use his size to try to get to the rim and do those things. But I like the fact that he's like, okay, I can't do that. What can I do? See, we know the problems. We know the issues. I want to know what the hell would the solutions be to these problems and these issues that he has. And one of them, you saw it, was the three-point shooting that improved. The other one is going to have to be, I think, getting to the free throw line is going to have to be a part of that as well, and finishing better at the rim, because sometimes he offends my basketball sensibilities when I watch that dude play. It offends me, like it does. But I will always give credit where it's due. Like you said, in these past few games, his facilitation just looked like okay, that's a point guard. That was a point guard themes that he's doing out there on the floor, and I appreciated that. Because it lets me know he's working on stuff. He's not just stagnant or staying there with it. But no, Matt is right, bro. Like he will make those just turnovers that make you get up and walk away and go to the fridge and get you something to drink. Be like, damn. But yeah, he's working on it, and I like that aspect of it, though.
Yeah, last week we had Joel Lorenzi. Shout out Joel. He was from The Athletic. He's been on the Bulls beat this year. Sure. Was on the Thunder beat a couple years before that. So I think he's one of the foremost Josh Giddey experts out there, probably. At least one of the guys who's followed him the closest in his career. And he described Josh Giddey as a floor raiser. Like when you add Josh Giddey, you go from being like a 20-win team to maybe a 30, 35-win team. But this team still lacks ceiling raisers, those guys that can take you from a 40-win team to a 50-win team, or from a play-in team to a second-round team. Are there any ceiling raisers out there right now, whether it be a trade, a free agent signing, anything like that? Any ceiling raisers you guys are looking at this offseason?
Yeah, the first 3 picks in the NBA draft.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Those are the ceiling raisers the Bulls should be focused on right now. The Bulls, brain trust, front office, organizationally, that's their mindset. That should, for the love of God, be their mindset. If you're talking about ceiling raisers, no, the problem is that the Bulls as an organization for decades have been obsessed with floor raisers. Who can get us to 41 wins and 2 home playoff games? Let's get those guys. That's what the Vooch, DeMar, Zach era Bulls were. 1 playoff appearance, a bunch of floor raisers that were mismatched pieces that didn't quite fit together, and their flaws were very quickly exposed by real teams in the league, but even before they got to that one and done playoff appearance. If you're talking about ceiling raisers, the ceiling raisers that exist in the league already as is, how are they making their way to the Chicago Bulls? Exactly. Via a trade? Via free agency? And might I add, No. I highly doubt that either of those situations would play out. The ceiling raisers exist in the draft, and at the top of it, stack them else.
Yeah, completely agree with that. And I'd say top 4 of those guys in the draft. The Bulls have to get up there if they want what you just stated right there, those ceiling raisers, because tons of floor raisers. Even Billy Donovan's a floor raiser. Like tons of floor raisers, you know what I'm saying, on this team that the Bulls have, but none of them, raising that roof. No ceiling is the roof kind of guys for the Chicago Bulls, man. But yeah, that's why we're looking at the draft, or I should say for me, like gonna start looking at the draft as soon as the season is, like putting my whole brain, into that, because the talent that I'm just seeing by just looking, I'm like, oh my God, like yo, dude, it is some legit dudes at the top of this thing right here. So I'm hopeful that the Bulls can get to that, but that's the issue right there. Like, do they want to get to that, to get those kind of ceiling raisers?
Yeah, they're giving mixed signals on that end. I mean, their moves at the deadline would have suggested that's what they want to do. And then they're playing Colin Sexton 30 minutes a game and trying to actually go out and win games. It's like there's no cohesion between the front office, between Billy Donovan and Arturas Karnisovas, where with other organizations like the Wizards, for example, that head coach knows that they're tanking. He knows not to play his best guys. He knows they're trying to stack L's. Do you guys see that lack of cohesion as maybe like a sign that Billy Donovan's time might be coming to an end in Chicago?
Dude, thank you for saying this. I just said this on the show a few days ago, like how it just feels like there's a damn disconnect. I was like, if we talk handing out orders, it feels like, what the hell are the orders? Like, it just feels like you're doing one thing and saying another thing, and you trade everybody, but then you're still trying to win, but you're still trying to lose, but you still want to sit guys. But then Billy is not ever going to be a dude who is like, dude, I'm out here to lose. I understand we're taking. Nope, I don't understand none of that. He understands I'm trying to get this W is what I understand right now. And there is a clear, at least again, outside looking in, fan perspective, it looks like a clear disconnect about what it should be and kind of what it is for this team, bro, because Billy's coaching like they didn't trade anybody, which is fine because he's a great coach. That's what he's supposed to do. It's on the front office, you know what I'm saying, to make these moves, these right moves to show you that, no, we are trying to tank. We're not trying to be this kind of team. And again, I'm not saying like the Bulls are a great team right now because they're not, but they need bad. We need like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like they hit the bottom bad because they started off, trying to win in the middle, staying right there at that 9th seed. So it's like you have to bottom out. But yes, I think that there is a disconnect between the front office and what's being put out on the floor as far as what they want and how they kind of want to go about it.
Well, first of all, Guilty, put your phone away, man, and give your better half your undivided attention at the dinner table. Come on. We just talked to you for 2 hours, Guilty. Appreciate you, man.
I'm just picking at you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, bro.
But yeah, and first of all, I agree with Dave's thing about Billy being a floor raiser. I'm sure that there is a huge faction of Bulls fans who are like, BS, Billy's the problem. My goodness. I don't know how many more times I can hear Billy's the problem from Bulls fans without losing my goddamn mind. You give these rosters that Billy has had to Spo, Phil Jackson, a Tex Winter. No. Like, dude, Tex Winter and Johnny Bach could not collectively fix and make better these Bulls rosters that Billy has had to work with over the last handful of years. The thing about him and a potential exit, only if he wants to. I think that's what it comes down to. I think the Reinsdorf family loves Billy Donovan. I think that maybe right now there might be some growing friction. This is just speculation, but growing friction between AK and Billy on what the heck the plan is. Billy has said things to the public in interviews with the media that kind of lead you to believe that Billy is wondering more and more what the heck the plan is with this roster, with the future of this team. He said, I got nothing wrong with coaching rebuilds. I'm happy to do that. Look at my coaching tenure. I love building with young guys and improving young guys, pointing to players like Kobe and Ayo and the ways that they got better under his tutelage and under his watch in their early NBA seasons. I believe Billy when he says that. But if I'm Billy Donovan and I take a look around, do I believe that there's enough young talent to actually mold into something? Do I believe in the person who's spearheading scouting, draft night, trades, free agency? If I'm Billy and I'm starting to or have lost faith in AK, I know it's a cozy, easy paycheck because the Bulls, the people at the very tippy top, don't give a crap if you win in April and May and June. So long as the building is full, they don't care. Talk about an easy, cozy job. Bulls head coach. Yeah, you're only on the hot seat if you fail to get to 39 wins. And sometimes even that's okay as long as there's a plan in place. But maybe there's a pivot and Billy goes to some Paxton-esque front office position, or maybe they wait too late, finally remove AK, but not until his contract is up. And if Billy takes that job, I don't know. Does Billy want to be a front office person? I think Billy loves coaching. I think that's what Billy Donovan loves to do. Yeah,
clearly, definitely loves it. While you were saying that, man, I was thinking of the quote I just saw Kenny Beecham have like a few days ago where he said Billy Donovan is the safest person in Chicago since Barack Obama. And that's some truth to that. You right? Like, what else does he need to do? You know what I'm saying? To be like But yeah, he's not the problem though. Like I 100% agree with Matt on this. He is not the problem. Not even on my top list of problems. Is Billy Donovan. You got a better team. You love Billy Donovan, right? Like your team's good. You like, oh man, Billy Donovan, our coach. Let's go. But no, like you got tons of ass on your squad, and that's why it doesn't connect.
So let's talk a little bit about the front office here, because I was watching Thunder Wolves earlier today, and what stuck out about the Thunder is just how much they win on the margins, whether it's getting Jared McCain for nothing. Isaiah Joe is a guy that the Sixers gave up on, and the Thunder swooped in. Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams, Jalen Williams, all second-round picks. They win on the margins, and that's what makes them so good, and AK does not win on the margins typically. But recently, we've seen Leonard Miller start to have some moments in the NBA. I believe he's 11.7 rebounds the last 5 games. Do you guys think Leonard Miller can be a real piece, or is this an example of March stats not correlating with who the player actually is?
Good question.
There could be some March midness involved, but you also can't deny that just from the eye test alone, he is more active, more productive, and therefore more valuable than anything we've seen from Patrick Williams in at least the last 2 years, if not more than that. He looks like a find, and could be a very simple team option pickup for the Bulls. Could be more than that. Could be negotiating a multi-year deal for Leonard Miller this summer. Do I think they found something? Yes. Do I think AK found that thing on purpose, and Leonard Miller specifically? No.
No, we won't give him credit for that. Yeah, he fell ass backwards into it, but the fact is he's here. And shout out to him for keeping his head, because a lot of guys maybe would have been like, oh my God, I don't think I'm ever going to play here, and just kind of fall out. Like we saw him playing well, and then we saw him get benched in Sacramento and play 1 minute. You know what I mean? And then we saw Patrick Williams out there being, his usual ass self while he was out there playing, and it was just bad. But credit to Billy for being like, okay, I think it's something here. I think we need to do something to change some things, because this young man is looking like a player. And again, you're looking at guys that fit along what the Bulls are looking at as their pillars, which is Matas Buzelis and which is Josh Giddey. And he fits with both of them, because Leonard Miller does not need the basketball to be effective. Okay, Leonard Miller can just say, fine, I'll be the one who cuts. I'll be the one who slashes. I'll be the one who offensive rebounds. I'll be the one that does the dirty work for us. I have no problem with that. It reminds me, and again, on a very, very, very lower standard of a Horace Grant in that instance, without the obvious pure jump shot that he had. But it's just the mindset of how he plays, doing that dirty work kind of thing that you look at, that I think every team kind of needs. I love how you brought up OKC and everything that they had, Jay, because the difference with OKC is it feels like they have their pulse on their team, and they understand exactly what their team needs. So when you go get an Isaiah Joe, you know what you're missing. This second they went and got McCain from the Sixers, I said, oh my God, that's a perfect fit. Like just mentally and how he is. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that is a perfect fit for this team. He's going to ball out. And yeah, that's what he's absolutely doing for them. Just allowing more guys to get rest while he continues to play very, very well. So they have their finger on the pulse of what the team is. And the Bulls have no idea what a pulse is. They don't know where to find it on the arm. So they're just throwing stuff out there like, well, we want this. Well, we kind of like this. Hey, here's something that, hey, anybody using this one right here? No, nobody using this. All right, we'll take that too. And they're trying to put something together in that way and hoping they fall into something like a Leonard Miller and what he kind of looks like. But Matt brought a point I didn't even think about, which was, is it a little bit of the March Madness? It didn't even cross my mind with that, with Leonard Miller, but I think that's a valid point. I think the difference is with it is I don't think we were expecting anything from Leonard Miller to do anything that he's out there doing on the floor. Like, so if it happened with guys that are a little higher up, I think I would look at it more. But still, in fact, we're looking at when it's happening now for a guy like that. Not too many teams are playing hard, but I will say he's doing this against teams that are still trying to win, though. So I think that's what the aspect I liked about and how he's playing out there on the floor. So he's going to get nothing but time to continue to showcase. to continue to see. That jump shot, it leaves something to be desired. When he takes a shot out there on the floor, man. I'm trying to remember who said this to me, but he looks like he's shooting left-handed, but he looks like a guy that's a right-handed guy shooting left-handed. I'm trying to remember who said that to me. But that's what it looks like, out there on the floor. But hopefully it starts going in for him, man. But I do think the Bulls have found something.
Yeah, that jump shot it's ugly. It's not quite Michael Kidd-Gilchrist level ugly, but it's got some fine tuning to do. It'd be nice if we still had Peter Patton around. He might be able to sharpen that J a little
bit. Nick scooped him up.
Hey, yes, I did.
Yes, come on down.
Yeah. So the flip side of that trade, I mean, I don't think I've met a Bulls fan who was happy about the Ayo Dosunmu trade. We all loved Ayo. He was young. He's a Chicago kid. He's a guy we wanted around for a long time. But the flip side of that trade is we brought in Rob Dillingham, and disastrous start for him for sure in his Bulls tenure. The last 5 games, though, he's at 9 points a game, 3 assists. Nothing impressive, but he did get the 3-point percentage. He's shooting 37% on about 5 attempts the last 5 games, which is an improvement because I think the first 10, it was something like 18%. Do you guys have any hope for Rob Dillingham in a Chicago Bulls uniform going forward?
I wouldn't use the word hope. I would use the words lingering curiosity. Like, why not? Why not continue to play him real minutes over these final 15 games and see what's what? Like, you got him on his rookie contract still. You are desperate for talent anywhere on the roster. So I've been encouraged by this recent stretch of games. As you said, he's been shooting the ball better. He's made nice things happen in transition. He's shown deftness at getting to the rim in crafty ways. He had a couple of really nice high level of difficulty finishes, high arcing layups off the glass in their last couple of games in LA that I was really impressed by. So is there enough there that I at least want to see more of it out of morbid curiosity and the fact that what the hell else are we going to do as Bulls fans for the next 15 games? Yeah. Throw me more Rob Dillingham minutes. There is no reason not to at this point. So high hopes for him being like a core piece moving forward. I'm not there. I'm definitely not there, but show me more, because what the hell else are we doing?
That was perfectly said. I want to see more of him because you got to see what you got. You know what I mean? And these kind of guys for sure. And I think he has been better, probably starting with that Phoenix game, that he's been better on the floor for the Bulls and scoring wise for sure. I'm wondering if, and I asked this question to when we had Mark K, shout out to him. We had Mark K and the GOAT, and I was asking both of them, is he a guy that gets going because of the scoring? Do you start seeing his facilitation and his point guardsmanship kind of come out a little more when he's scoring the goal? And it feels like that when I watch him, because I think Marquet was like, well, it's more about the confidence and how he's playing. And that's very important. The shots going in, you are more confident as an NBA player. I don't care who you are. Your shots going in, you start getting more confident about what you can do on the floor. And he's put up like 12 points in these past few games, a few times coming off the bench. I think him knowing he's coming off the bench also helps. Knowing he's going to be playing will definitely help a player and allow them to prepare a little bit better, especially a young guy who's still trying to find his way. So I think that's key too. But I'm not ready to be like, oh man, like this is the guy. You know what I mean? We got to see him like this and that. Like, I'm curious. Like Matt said it right. Like, I am definitely just like, okay, let's continue to watch him. Let's continue to see what you have. You've got another year of him. You know, it's not going to hurt anything. Let's continue to see what he can grow into, because if you do find something in him and develop something in him, you've got yourself a really, really nice piece as far as a backup is concerned for your team.
So we've talked Buzelis, Giddey, Leonard Miller, now Rob Dillingham. I've kind of tried to steer it, you know, something for Bulls fans to have a little hope going forward, even though, you know, this franchise is in a dark place right now. What are your guys' thoughts on Noa Essengue? Because the draft was so long ago, I honestly can't remember what your guys' takes were when the Bulls drafted him. I didn't like the pick. I'm not a guy who really believes in footage from Germany or when he was balling out in the G League. Like Mac McClung just got 51 points in the G League.
54,
Carlick
right?
Jones was a 54. Carlick Jones was a G League MVP. Like, you're never going to impress me with G League stats. It's just not going to happen. So I wasn't high on Noah. I was a Derek Queen guy personally. Take what you want with that. But what was your guys' initial thoughts on Noa Essengue, and what do you think he can be going forward for this team?
I mean, I wasn't even very high on Derek Queen, but, I was very much so thank you for your unprotected future first-round pick, Pelicans guy. That's for damn sure. That's what they should have done.
Yes.
My God, AK. What? But when it comes to Noah, I was okay with the pick when it happened. I would say I was okay, not thrilled. There were other names that I would have been way more excited about. Dave was riding that Cedric Howard train real hard. We were hoping he would fall because I got on that train as well. He did not. My thinking was like, I thought he would be a project of a player. And I thought, well, the Bulls already have a lot of projects that haven't exactly developed. See your Dalen Terry's, your Julian Phillips's, your Patrick frickin' Williams. And Matas is the latest and most important project. So I also thought it wasn't in the Bulls' best interest to win games this season, and that they would win more games than they should, but win fewer games than they had the last few years. And that's where we are now. And that now includes a winless month after pivoting and selling off a lot of their players in the trade deadline. But that's where they are. Noah not being a part of that, it's a bummer that he's essentially redshirting his rookie year, mostly just because he can at least get some run with Windy City. And I agree, G League stats mean next to nothing. But at least it's reps, at least it's exercise, at least it's something while you're also working and putting work in the weight room. Noah lost basically a whole season of that. We've seen him around more recently. He was with the team for at least part of their West Coast trip. He got whatever that giant brace was off. So he's progressing. I think there was an update just on the broadcast in one of those games toward the end of the road trip that they're expecting him to be ready and available and participate in Summer League round 2 for Noah. That's great. It's still a total question mark. I'm not calling him a bust. I'm not calling him something I know will be a solid value add to this roster next season and beyond, because what we've seen from Summer League and 6 minutes of the NBA and Windy City, he ain't ready. I was fine with the fact that he was a project pick because I thought the Bulls shouldn't be winning anyway, and that Billy sure as hell wasn't going to play him because he was a very rough around the edges project. So, okay, you took a project. Billy's not going to play him. Let him work on his game for a year. We should be focusing on L's. Maybe he gets into the rotation because the Bulls steer even harder into L's at some point this season. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was hoping. That didn't happen because of the injury, which is a shame, but it's still way too early to tell what the heck that kid's going to be.
Yeah, I had Cedric Howard number 1, and I had Derek Queen number 2. That as far as who the Bulls should take. And I was with you, Justin. I definitely wanted Derek Queen. And I am absolutely with Matt. I was on that team. Like, what? You gonna give me a free pick? Like, fine, take it. Because whoever I take after that, maybe I still, land a guy like Essengue, if that's who you're really after. What it did do when you don't make that move, it's put additional pressure on Essengue to be a dude. That's what it does, because you're telling me you've turned down a first round pick to stay right there and draft this guy. That means you're telling me he better be that dude. He got to be legit then. He's got a lot to work on, clearly. Like, there's a lot to work on for that young man. We saw it in the Summer League. I mean, right now, his claim to fame is getting dunked on by the Furfinator. That's the claim to fame for him right now, is the one and only Johnny Furphy ending his Summer League career. So he has to kind of come back from that. That's an unfortunate injury that he had, also very unfortunate. The positives about the young man, I like his mind, honestly. I like his brain because it doesn't seem like he gets rattled. It seems like he goes at his own smooth pace. He knows where he needs to be on the floor. Like, his IQ, I think, is really solid. At that Summer League, I watched him a lot in that second game after he had that terrible first game. I watched him a lot in that second game, just how he moved. And I watched him self-correcting himself. from what he was doing wrong in that first game. And I thought that was a huge thing for me. Because sometimes you can have all the talent in the world, but can't put it together, mentally, because, there could be a block. But I think he's solid mentally. So other stuff he definitely needs to work on. He does a little bit of everything well, but just not great, like a jack of all trades, but a master of none kind of situation. So again, this is very early on, a very early rough assessment just of what I saw from that young man in the summer league. But I'm just curious to see what it is, because he's going to play again in the summer league, hopefully. And we'll see if there's going to be growth from that, what we saw last year coming into this season. But definitely lost a lot of time, man, with that unfortunate injury. So I'm going to see if he's, if it's things that he's learned from that time off and what he wants to focus on. What's Billy Donovan been trying to teach him to focus on? What he needs to learn and grow from? Is he trying to get the handle right? Is the three-point shot trying to get better? Is the offensive rebounding trying to get better? He's already solid defensively. Is he going to, focus on that improvement also? So it's just so many more questions than there is answers right now, Justin, for that young man. And him being 19 years old, maybe that's okay that it's that many questions still for him. But then you have to finally, do I trust the development, as Matt was talking about? Do I trust them to develop someone? I haven't seen something to say that I should have some faith in their development going forward. But this is the hand that we've been dealt, and we're going to sit and watch together what he develops into.
Shout out to AD and Mo in the chat saying they both would have taken Carter Bryant. I was watching that Hornets Spurs yesterday, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, damn, this Carter Bryant kid, he's got some athleticism. He'd look nice next to Matas on the wings. Like he plays smart too. He was making smart, off-ball cuts, and I'm sure it's easier to play smart when you're on the Spurs surrounded by great talent. But that kid was nice too.
Yeah, he was on my top 5 for the Bulls at 12. I can't remember if he was on yours, Dave, or maybe Goats too. But yeah, he was a name that I also was paying close attention to and liked, and I think he could still take a step or two in his career.
He was 5th on mine as far as the Bulls.
Yeah,
who they can take. I had him at 5 for sure.
Yeah, that kid's gonna be nice. So here at Bulls on Tap, we finish every episode with 3 different segments. First, we do on tap or totally crap. I'm gonna give you guys a statement. If you agree with it, on tap. If you disagree with it, totally crap. Chat, I want you guys to participate with it too. Then we'll do a mailbag. We got a couple questions submitted on Twitter. If anybody in the chat has questions they want to submit, do it now. And then we finish with random bowl of the day. So if you guys are ready, we can play some on tap or totally crap.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. So first one, on tap or totally crap. This one's a little longer. The other 2 are pretty short. So Matas Buzelis this year, he's averaging 16 points per game on the season. Over the last 10 games, he's averaging 21 a game. Do you think that Matas Buzelis will finish the season averaging 17 points per game on the season? Like, do you think he'll produce enough these last 15 to get that total average to 17?
17 or more?
Yes. He would need to average roughly 22 a game to get there in these last 15.
On tap. Let's go. 22 a game for the last 15. I got faith. I got faith in my guy.
It's 15 games. That's it? It's only 15?
15 left.
Believe so. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to believe in something while this season is ended. Like, let me believe in that.
And as I said earlier, nobody on this team should be taking more shots than Matas Buzelis for the last 15 games of the season.
We're looking at you. We're looking at you, Colin Sexton.
All right, so you guys are both on tap for that one. The next one, on tap or totally crap. The Bulls are going to finish with more than 30 wins this year. They're currently at 27.
On tap.
On tap.
On tap.
Hate to say it, but on tap.
Hate to say it.
Their last 4 games, they got the Zards twice and the Mavs in there. You know that Billy and the Bulls are going to say to hell with tanking and win at least 2 of those last 4, if not 3 of those last 4.
Dude, look at them last few games they played before they came out west, bro. Billy was coaching his ass off. All them timeouts he was taking in that 4th quarter of those games, man. He's trying to win, bro. No, they're gonna cross that 30 threshold for sure.
All right, the last one that we got. This one, it's total guesswork. The Chicago Bulls will win an NBA championship before my daughter graduates high school in the year 2043. On tap or totally crap?
Totally crap.
On tap. I'm on tap with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah. They'll do that. 2043.
My answer, regardless of knowing how old your daughter is and when she's graduating, I was like, automatic, totally crap. I yearn for the day that is not an automatic default answer for me. But until somebody else owns this team, they're not winning jack shit. Sorry.
I hear him on that. But I think that I don't know, just how I look at things. I mean, that's what, 17 years away? Yep. Like, I don't know, man. You guy getting up there is all I'm saying. He's getting up there. We'll see. I don't know. But man. I'll say on tap for the babies. We'll do that for the babies.
And that's why we love Big Dave. The hope
for the babies.
The light side that I think
that we'll win in the next 17 years. It's the hope that I'll give us.
I don't have that hope, buddy. I do not have that
hope. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying you wrong, but damn, if that's what the hope is, then okay. Then we in a dark place, baby. But it's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna roll with it. It's all right.
Hey, some hope is better than no hope. Off topic, how many titles do you guys think Wemby's gonna have by the year 2043?
Oh, at least 2.
I was gonna say 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At least that. He better.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna be snapping.
I mean, that's 17 years from now. You're talking about the end of his career. Like that's bro. How many chips does he get in his career? I think he gets 2 or 3. And honestly, if the Spurs continue to do what the Spurs have always done, which is be a top-notch organization and build legitimate contention kind of teams perennially, save for a couple of gap years here and there.
Yeah,
he could win 6 easy.
Yeah,
easy.
He should, man. Wemby should be just dominating this league. Like the numbers he's been putting up in his past 5 games, I'm like, he should be putting that up for an entire season. Like he has just been out of control these past 5 games. And my expectations of Wemby are super high about what he should be and must be for this league, man, because there's nothing for him. There's no defense built for that. Get out of here. This dude should be dominating everybody.
Bulls had to go to the play-in tournament, though. Who needs Wemby?
Local Bulls fan, can Wemby become the GOAT? I'm not going to put that on him. He'd have to do a crazy amount, especially in today's social media age. Like nobody will ever reach Michael Jordan status where everybody unanimously agrees you're a GOAT when you retire.
The killer had to be learned in him.
Yeah.
It had to be learned. Mike came in hating you from the beginning. Like from the beginning, he hated your guts. All right. It had to be learned, bro. Like it's either in you or it's not, bro.
So that was on tap or totally crap. We got a couple questions in the mailbag here. And like I said, chat, if you guys have any questions for us, submit them in here now. We'll start. My boy at Easyland, he asks, in a perfect world, we get AJ. Would you trade Buzelis to build around AJ, not having to worry about one playing off of the other? I'm going to say no. Like, that's putting the cart before the horse. That to me seems like look at Orlando. Orlando has Paulo and Franz. They seem to be a little bit better when one of them is out and the other gets to take the reins, but they're still letting that play all the way out before they make that decision. I'd have to say the same thing. What do you guys think?
No, I agree with that. Like, I got to see it first. Like, you got to let that play out before I can make that decision about who he needs to be around. You know what I mean? Because again, we're talking about Matas as being a pillar right now. So if we do fall into AJ, I need to see if that works together. Like, because I'm ahead of the game if that works together. So yeah, absolutely. I got to see it first, and then I'll make that decision. But it'll be a quick decision. I promise you that.
Yeah. No, you got to let that marinate. I would say at least for a season of those two players playing together, hypothetically. And then also, like, not prefer to build around one more so than the other. So then you trade the other for other assets that might fit better, or future assets to build around that other. Dude, no, you're starting with a dirt patch. You don't have a foundation yet if you're the Chicago Bulls. No offense to Josh Matas or anyone else. Offense absolutely intended to the front office and ownership. You don't have a foundation right now. You got a dirt patch.
Yep.
Add AJ DeBesta to a dirt patch and then see what else the dirt patch has sprouting out of it and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give them. I would take it as far as you got to give them till the end of AJ's rookie contract, to be honest. I mean, you look at like the Celtics for years, people were like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum aren't going to work together. Trade Jaylen Brown. And then what do you know? 1 year it just clicked for them and it worked together. So I think when you have that kind of talent, like we're putting the cart before the horse, even having this combo right now. But
for sure.
But if you have that kind of talent, I just think you let it go as far as it can. Like you don't trade one of those guys, so you absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just said something that AK would smile and nod in agreement with. You gotta hold your assets as long as possible until they have no trade value left.
Oh my god!
So we got a 2-part question here from our boy Samity. Shout out Samity, one of the best guys on Twitter.
What up?
He asks, what are some positives and negatives you see from Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis? Also, what is one restaurant I need to try when I finally visit Chicago? I'll let you guys take the restaurant from Chicago one because, like I said, I'm from Minnesota. My Chicago restaurant knowledge is Illuminati's. That's about all I got for you.
You could do better than that.
You can do better.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Luz, but they're the Domino's of Chicago pizza places.
Oh, shit. I did not know
He's
this.
Right.
He's
real. Pequods, brother. Pequods.
Pequods is the joint.
Yeah, bro.
And then also shout out to Gene and George Eddie's, one of Chicago's OG steakhouses.
Yes.
Just a couple weeks ago for a friend's birthday. If you want a good piece of meat in Chicago, go to Gene and George. Highly recommend Smith and Walensky as well, right there on the river. The Josh and Matas, I feel like we covered a lot of the Josh and Matas stuff in our previous conversations over the last hour or so. Yeah. But like something good, something bad, encouraged, discouraged. Like again, I'll highlight Josh Giddey taking threes off the dribble. Like to me, that is a huge win that we've seen recently. Discouraged, the turnovers are still an issue. Defensively, I still got a lot of red flags and question marks when it comes to Josh Giddey. Also, the same thing with Matas. An even younger player who's learning the hard way defensively, plenty of nights. Just, getting cooked by Luka Doncic one night and cooked by Kawhi Leonard the next. Like that literally was just the bam that Matas had to endure on the defensive end at the tail end of an already long and exhausting road trip. Shout out to him for trying. But the usage, the diversity in which Matas has been looking for his shots on the floor. And, I think there's plenty of pros to take, and you take the bad with the good right now and just hope that they continue to both get better more so than they stagnate or get worse.
Yeah. Like I said, the positive for Giddey is the facilitation for me. And just what I've seen him do on that. I really, really hope that continues, man, because it frees up, like I got Mike Whitlow was just saying, it was freeing up guys like Trey Jones getting to the bucket while he was scoring 20 plus. Was the fact that Giddey is a threat from the outside, but also his ability to think of at least a step ahead on some of those passes where guys were, spaced out and giving that room to a guy like Trey Jones. Like that's important. That's really important stuff. And yeah, I like that. And again, for Matas, it's just leaning more into, I don't give a damn. Just leaning more into that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a damn. This is what's available to me. This is what I'm going to do. I think I'm the best, and I'm going to show you that I'm the best. Fine. And the handles need work, too. I forgot about say that about Matas. The handles absolutely need work because he was getting ripped up. Yeah. But if you've noticed in these past few games, since Giddey has been finding him, he hasn't been dribbling as much. And it's been more spot-up shooting from the three-point line and more him cutting to the bucket and allowing him to get downhill a little bit better. That's been really good to see. But when he does have the ball and he can clear that space and get inside, free throw line extended, hope he, just starts taking those shots right there. We saw little floaters of him doing those things and other stuff like that. I just think it has to be more. I really think he can add 6 more points to his game if he's doing that, especially if he can't get to the free throw line a lot, because we want to see that too. But if that's not occurring, man, like I feel like this is a way that he can get clear shots that teams are not going to be able to truly defend because of his height and his skill. So, but yeah, I've talked at length about that. And guess what? I'm going to continue to talk at length about that until we see it. That's how we do. But yeah, those two things from those guys, man, I like that I'm seeing that.
And with Matas also just one final is strength. Along with those handles, Dave, you want the handles to get better. I want his lower half of his body to get stronger to allow him
agree.
to get more rip throughs, more finishes at the rim, more and ones, and an ability to back some guys down from time to time and just use his strength. And also, if you add strength, then it's not as necessary to have, like Kyrie level handles. The handles need to get better, but if you have strength, then your handles just need to be like respectable to pair with big man strength.
100% agree. It's not like Dirk was out there crossing cats over all day long. You know
exactly.
Like, come on. Yeah, no, 100% agree.
Yeah, the comp that I've kind of gone with for where I want to see Matas go, and it's not a game comp, it's strictly a body comp. I look at Aaron Gordon because Aaron Gordon came into the league. He was kind of small, but he was freakishly athletic. That dude has gotten strong. That dude has gotten jacked, and he hasn't sacrificed any athleticism whatsoever. Like, that's what I want to see from Buzelis body-wise. Like, get strong, but don't sacrifice any athleticism. As far as Giddey goes, what do I want to see from Giddey? Honestly, people get really mad when I say this because they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not a point guard. I'm saying I want him to improve the non-point guard parts of his game. Like, I want him to be a better off-ball screener. I want him to, like, let's say we draft Acuff this draft. The kid looks like a stud right now. There's going to be multiple possessions where he's the primary ball handler. I would love to see Josh Giddey acting as a screener in those situations, a screener and a hard roller. I think his passing could potentially open up a lot in a role as a roller with a ball handler like Acuff there. So I'm not saying Josh Giddey isn't a point guard. He's obviously a point guard, but if he's going to reach his ceiling as a player, I think we all can agree he needs to improve the non-point guard aspects of his game.
How dare you, first of all, Justin, how dare you say these things? But yeah, no, I think that's 100% accurate is what he does off the ball. Like, that is very, very key for a point guard. You know what I'm saying? And the screening, I think it stands out because of the size that he is and the physicality that he presents out there on the floor. Yeah, that could be a real problem, especially for if the number 2 guy is a guy that can score the bucket and he can, set some things up. That just opens up more options because even if they start double teaming that shooter off of that screen, Giddey is shooting 38% from 3. That opens that up to wide open looks for him. So, no, you're 100% dead on, Justin, for sure.
And I think a very fair ask and a logical one for Bulls fans if you're talking about a guy who, on his previous team, the team that drafted him as a lottery pick, the more they took the ball out of his hands, the more they realized how ineffective he is and even problematic he is to be on the floor without the ball in his hands. And he got phased out of that team. The more that they realized they had more talented players and they needed to put the ball in those players' hands more so than Josh Giddey's. If he can become a more useful player in a myriad of ways without bringing the ball up the floor every time, it would sure as hell make me feel a lot better about Josh Giddey being one of the foundational pieces of this team moving forward.
Definitely. We got one more question here. This one's for you, Dave. It's from Mo.
Sure.
He asks, is Con Man going to be the GOAT shooter when he wraps up his career? I love Con Knipple, man.
Yeah, I love Con Knipple, bro. Like, I still wish I should have Joey C and myself sit down so I can find a video of when they drafted him, because I just went off. I was like, dude, he is going to be the man for this team. Like, they should go ahead and trade LaMelo and just give him the ball and let him cook. And of course, when I say these things, I'm always crazy when I'm ahead of things. But he is awesome. Like, he is how I like my basketball play, because he's also crazy. When he's out there on the floor, bro, he don't like people. He's trying to win all the time, and it's contagious when it's like that. Greatest shooter of all time. I mean,
better than Matt Thomas, Dave. Better than Matt Thomas.
Look, we're not even going to entertain that thought right there. I wasn't even going to go to a level of a Matt Thomas of greatest shooter in the world. We're not even going there. But greatest shooter in the league, I don't know if he's going to surpass Steph. The numbers might indicate that he does that, but the numbers aren't why Steph is the greatest shooter. It's when Steph was getting those shots and how he was getting those shots. That's what makes him the greatest shooter, is your bunch of like, oh my God, when he's making Mike Breen hit the double bang because he's pulling up from half court for game winners. That makes you the greatest shooter, those moments. So Khan is definitely consistent. And I mean, you're teaching people how to shoot. You're showing them his tape. That's what you want to look at. But yeah, man, he's I can't say enough of how good he's been and how happy I am for him and how excited I am to watch Charlotte and just ascend and continue to ascend, because that's what's happening right now, Bulls fans. Like, Bulls staying in that middle, teams are leapfrogging. That's what's happening right now. If you think Washington's going to be below them next year, they won't be. It's going to be the Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks and maybe Brooklyn if it pans out. But them other teams are just going to continue to leapfrog and get up there. So when you get guys like Con Knipple on your squad, it changes cultures. You know what I mean? And they have changed the culture down in Charlotte, having a guy like Con Knipple, man. He's awesome.
Also, how much more fun would it be to see Charlotte in a first-round playoff series?
Yeah.
More so than like Miami or Atlanta. Like,
I agree with that.
Like, dude, let me get playoff Con Knipple, man. Like,
yeah,
I want to watch that dude cook in a playoff series.
I do too. You're right.
So, side question for you guys. I didn't plan this. I just thought of it now because we're talking about Con. I had Matt Babcock on last week. He's one of the draft experts. And I asked him last year's top four, Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Con Knipple, VJ Edgecombe. They're really good. That's like as good of a top four as I've seen. But you're seeing buzz that this year's top four is going to be even better with Peterson, Debanza, Boozer, and Caleb Wilson. Which top four would you guys lean towards if you had to say one's going to be better than the other?
Which one had Cedric Coward? No, I'm just playing. I haven't watched enough to have an honest answer for you. I haven't watched enough of these young guys. I've seen bits and pieces and clips and certain things of guys play more so than I have. But when I do a dive like I'm going to into it, I'll have a better answer for you. But I mean, these guys that we've seen though, like coming out, like we don't even talk about Ace Bailey, and Ace Bailey is a baller. We don't even that's how good this draft has been for them. We don't even discuss that young man. He was like 5th pick, and he's been killing. So, but yeah, man, like as of right now, I think how can you go against this? Like Cooper Flagg was consensus everything, and Con Knipple is still right now Rookie of the Year. That's letting you know how good it's been.
And Flagg in his own right has done absurd things this season.
Absurd.
Like absurd things.
So just had a crazy game today.
Yeah, I would lean towards giving the nod to the class that is just now wrapping up their rookie year over the incoming class, because we've seen a body of work from them, and it's been really impressive. So not to say that I don't believe that the upcoming class 26 could eventually overtake them as far as like which class's top four ended up having the best collective career resumes. That's certainly possible. But right now, got to go with what I've seen from the 25 class top four, because they are nice.
Yeah, I think I agree. So we finish every segment here with what we call Random Bull of the Day. The way it works, I name a random Chicago Bull. You guys spend as much time as you want talking about the guy. I think we're all about the same age here. I'm 36. So I think you guys will actually be able to speak on this guy. And you guys probably had hope for him like I did when I was a kid. So, and I'm keeping a March Madness theme this month too, being that it's Selection Sunday. This one only felt right. So today's random Chicago Bull of the Day, we're talking about a one-time NCAA champion, one-time player of the year, two-time consensus All-American, one of the most tragic careers in NBA history. Random Chicago Bull of the Day, Jay Williams. Take it away, fellas. Yes.
Oh, man. I was just talking with our guy Braggs from CHGO Bears in a pool in Phoenix last weekend. While we're out there for our spring training trip, we went out for Bulls Suns. We had a little downtime. And Jay and Braggs and I were just talking about so many wayward Bulls careers since the dynasty ended. And he and I were just talking Jay Williams for what felt like hours. So, of course, it comes up again so shortly thereafter. Yeah, Dave, I don't know how you felt about, like, Jay Williams being a franchise saver. I remember being encouraged but not blown away by his rookie year. And like I watched him play in college. I was like, this kid's nice. And then I was like, okay, we got work to do. Like, he's a piece. He's like, that's what I felt after watching his rookie year. I was like, he's a piece. I don't know how much better he can be from like the potential we see right now. He'll clearly grow into a better version of himself than what he is right now. he's a piece. I don't know if he's a stud. That's how I felt about him after his very sadly truncated NBA career.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the first thing you think of is him in college. Like, I still remember, was it North Carolina they were playing? They were down 10 with like literally under a minute to go. And Jay Williams led that comeback to Duke winning that game. Like, the dude was a winner. Like, that's why he went so high in the draft. Obviously, consensus of merit, like everything that's just said, player of the year, national champion, all that stuff. Matt, you're right. When he got here and watching him, I didn't think he was the solver, but I thought he was a huge piece for this team. And you were excited going forward with him because he would have certain games and do certain things where you're like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, yeah, I like this right here. Like, this dude, I like this kind of party, as Mike Singletary would say. But you like what you saw from him, and I liked him for a leadership standpoint. I thought he was really good because he's a natural leader, bro. Like, he really is. He's a natural kind of leader. And you saw it start kind of coming out in certain games that he played. So knowing you have a guy who can run your offense at worst, he can run your offense and put everybody exactly where they needed to be because his IQ was off the charts, which is why he's still doing stuff that he's doing right now, doing the analysis of games and things. The dude is a brilliant dude. So his IQ was always off the charts. So he had all that stuff, but he also, had some killer in him. He had a lot of killer in him. Like, he did not like people. You know what I mean? He wanted to win. Yeah. He wanted to take your heart. He really did. And that comes with the size that he was, and things like that. That gets added onto it and things. But yeah, it was tragic for sure. I hate it because it was avoidable. That's what bothers me more than anything about it. It was completely avoidable. And if you would and it's in your contract. Like, I don't say shout out to the Bulls front office a lot, but I'll say shout out to the Bulls front office on this one for saying, look, bro, we know you like bikes. We're going to put this in your contract. You can't ride these bikes, dog. Like, no, absolutely not. And then shout out to them for when it actually did happen. The Bulls didn't have to pay that young man, and they still did. They still gave him his old full contract. So I give them shout out to him for that. That was a really cool and nice thing to do. But yeah, man, it was tragic and it was sad. And it was just like, oh my God, it just was another thing. Like, oh, are we ever gonna get out of this? Like this is happening to us too, but yeah, I liked him though. Like he wasn't changing me, as like Matt said, to think we had the guy for our team, but he was absolutely a really nice piece, and I thought was gonna be like your future leader of your team.
Yeah, that Duke team that he was on was so nasty. It came up on my timeline today. I can't remember if it was the 01 or 02 championship game, but it was just, showing highlights. It was them versus Arizona. And Arizona had Gilbert Arenas and Richard Jefferson and Luke Walton on one side. And then Duke, it was like Carlos Boozer, Mike Dunleavy, Jay Williams, Shane Battier, Chris Duhon. I mean, 4 of those 5 guys were Chicago Bulls eventually. But it was, man, that team was so stacked. I like Jay Williams. I was a North Carolina kid growing up. And he's the only Blue Devil that I ever rooted for because his game was just nasty. He was like 6'2", and he was dunking on people and he was crossing people up. And man, when I found out what happened to him, I think I was like 13 years old. I was like, wait, what do you mean he crashed a motorcycle and he's just done? Like it made no sense to a 13-year-old. But man, it's hard not to look back and just wonder what if, because we had Jamal Crawford, we had Tyson Chandler, we had, I'm probably forgetting a piece or two in there.
Curry was there.
Yeah.
The year before. Right? Because, Curry was 01.
Yeah. Was Artest in there?
Artest was the same year as Elton Brand. That was the same draft class. So yeah.
He was there. Yep.
Yeah, so they had a team, man, and maybe it could have happened, but sadly we'll never know. Maybe there's a multiverse out there somewhere where Jay Williams didn't wreck his car or his bike, and we got to see what his career played out.
Maybe there's a multiverse where Marcus Pfizer was a good NBA player.
I don't think there's a multiverse.
You don't think that verse
exists? I don't think that one exists, man. But that was Random Bull of the Day. I appreciate you guys coming on. Take a second here and, plug your podcast. Let us know, what can we expect from you guys this week as far as the pod goes?
Well, so what? We got 3 games on deck this week. We got Grizzlies at home, and then I think they got a Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back this week. Who are they playing in that back-to-back? We got Raptors at home and then Cavs at home. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, we'll be live pregame and postgame for all 3 of those. We'll have pods on Tuesday and Friday to round out the week. It's a nice Monday to Friday Bull slate on deck. Same old. You know where to find us, CHGO Sports YouTube channel. And our various socials, CHGO_Bulls, Bulls_Peck, BWL Sports. I don't know about Dave. I am very much looking forward to this final chapter of the season and closing that book just to, get a fresh start on what we do content-wise and start talking about more of these draft prospects and start getting excited for lottery night and not being a vampire who is up until 3 or 4 in the morning on game nights, because that's just how my sleep schedule works when we're covering these games. But honestly, whether they are giving me hope or not, it's still a fun gig to do, and we appreciate the Bulls fans tune into it, man. Even but especially in a season like this one, where you're just like, yo, what are we doing here?
Yeah, this is another one of the many differences of me and Matt, because I am a night owl person. So I don't mind being up at night, enjoying that time, 3, 4. That's all. Cool
I like being up late at night when it's my choice and I'm having fun doing other stuff. That's
the other thing. I'm always having fun. I'm always having fun, dude, doing it. Like it's fun for me. Like it is. But also on Tuesday on our off day show, really, 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 really big guest we got coming in on Tuesday. We got a big old guest. Stopping by.
Totally forgot about that.
Want to see it. You're gonna want to watch it. You're gonna want to tune in. It's a nice guest. It's a really big old guest that you guys are gonna want to see. And we're very excited to have this guest on the show. Tune in. Trust me. Tune in.
Chicago legend.
Tune in.
I'm gonna guess Carlos Boozer talking about his son being a future Bull.
That would be cool.
We talked to him last summer while he was promoting his Bravo bachelor style TV show. God. And he told us, hey, if Cameron Caden get drafted to the Bulls, we'll talk again. So I don't know. I might hit up his people before that and see once we are in lead up to draft. Oh, if the Bulls get a top 4 pick. We're talking to Chucky Brew on the regular. Let's go.
Top 4 pick for the Bulls. Yeah, tune in draft night as well, y'all. That draft coverage should be fun. Seeing if the Bulls land a top 4 pick, and you'll see actual happiness happen on CHGO.
I might honestly cry if the Bulls get a top 4 pick. I might cry tears of joy out of just sheer exhaustion and desperation, and finally being overwhelmed by something positive happening with this team.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. So we'll see.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Tune in on Tuesday. They got a big guest coming. Thanks for tuning in to Bulls on Tap today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The chat was definitely popping today. We'll be back later this week. My co-host Sal will be back. I know you guys missed him. We definitely missed him on this podcast as well. So once again, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to Matt and Dave for coming on. Take it easy, Bulls Nation.
Man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime.
Sal Best. Live when the mic snap. Justin in the cut, bring the fight back. Windy City talk, turn it down. That's that. Welcome to the show. It's Bulls on Tap. Bulls on Tap, pull it up, press play. Chi-Town talk, we can run it all day. From the tip-off buzz to the post-game rap. If you rock with the Bulls, you rock with Bulls on Tap.